I hated working. I hated working for a 9 to 5 job. At a certain point, I was banging my head up against the wall and I didn't know what was keeping me from succeeding. I always hated getting paid what I felt like pennies.
How did we help?
I went from 5,000 in revenue to 20,000 in revenue in a matter of like a month. So that surprised me. It just shocked me how quickly I could scale.
Johnny?
John?
Dude, good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you in person finally.
How long have we been seeing each other on?
At least a couple years.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. Where were you at revenue-wise before joining our program, and where are you at now?
I wasn't making a whole lot of money. I was just trying different things and none of it works. What I was trying to do was just throwing spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks, but nothing really stuck. And I realized that if you go too broad, you don't get any results. The results come from going deep. You can try doing different traffic sources. You can try doing different, not affiliate programs, but money-making opportunities like multi-level marketing, affiliate marketing, SEO, flipping, whatever. The money really is in going deep. And so I chose Google search and affiliate marketing, ClickBank, whatnot. And the money started to come in more when you started to go deep into one traffic source, one affiliate type of product, and even a niche. So I'm more in the neutral niche, but then there's people who do like dating and whatnot. So you have to go really deep. Now, in February, my revenue was about 5,000. And then in March, it went up to about 20,000. And then I went into a hiccup. And so this month is not that great.
The leads are weak.
The leads are weak. The fucking leads are weak. You're weak.
But once I fixed that, I think I could get up to like 80,000. But the program is invaluable if you want to get going as quickly as possible in the most efficient and effective manner as possible. I love it.
Tell us about your situation before working with us.
I hated working. I hated working for a 9 to 5 job. I was a project manager for a healthcare company. And my job was to make projects happen under budget and on time. In one sense, I got a lot of freedom. I can make decisions on my own. I can tell people to get to work or whatnot. But then I always hated getting paid what I felt like pennies. I was managing $11 million budgets, $15 million budgets, all on things like healthcare, provider data, whatnot. But then I wasn't making $15 million or even a percentage of that, right? So I was managing all these massive budgets, but I wasn't getting anything. And so that's what I hated. But the other thing I hated was the time freedom or lack of. I love just sleeping in some days. And some days I love working for 24 hours straight. I get to set my time. I get to set when I want to work and when I don't.
What were your goals and what was blocking you from achieving them?
Trying to ride the waves of profit and loss, right? My goal was basically to live outside of the United States. I wanted a digital nomad type of lifestyle where I wanted to live off a laptop and an internet connection. And my goal is still the same. Go to Thailand, go to Philippines, go to, Costa Rica. Just take a laptop and just live there.
How'd you end up in Galveston?
So that's part of it. Texas doesn't have a state tax. And so I'm setting up a corporation here just for that. And if Trump gets his way and there's no federal tax, even better. So I came from California, and California is not the best in terms of taxes. So I came to Texas to establish residency, start a corporation, and that way I can funnel all my business revenue through Texas.
That's smart. What had you tried before you tried affiliate marketing?
I think the first thing I tried was MLM. I basically saw it as just another affiliate marketing program. You don't necessarily have to recruit anyone in MLM. You can sell products. You buy low and sell high. That didn't quite work. The other thing I tried was flipping domains. I like to build tools. I like to build systems, right? Content, not so much. I don't like writing articles. I don't like creating videos. I don't like anything, but I like creating systems. So building websites, easy. I tried building just sites where I can just do small bits of SEO. That didn't work. Then I just said, you know what? I don't want to own a business. I don't want to own inventory. I don't want employees, right? I don't want to do payroll, HR, none of that. So affiliate marketing was just the best way to go for me. Even with things like dropshipping, I considered that. I'm so glad I go in dropshipping now. But even with dropshipping, I had a hard time not doing inventory, right? Just went with affiliate marketing. It just seemed the best way to go. It had the least amount of variables.
That was why I did it. I had book just like this. I'd sold my affiliate network, and on one side I wrote what I wanted, and on one side I wrote what I didn't want. No employees, no like having to work at a certain set schedule, no, all the things you listed. I didn't want to keep inventory or want to have an address or a warehouse or I didn't want to do customer service and
Oh yeah, you don't want the customer service.
no. And then I was like, okay. And I started, that's how I started my last business. How did me help you get started in affiliate marketing?
So let me kind of go off on a little bit of tangent. Whenever you go to a school or education, the teacher or the professor, they never cover everything from scratch. They always give you a textbook. And so they expect you to read the textbook, hit the basic foundation, and then at that point, they'll fill in the blanks. Now, based on your personal personality or your characteristic, you might read something and miss something, or you might interpret the textbook in a certain way. But they're there to fill in the gaps where the basic education provides a foundation, and then they'll provide all of the details and nuances. And that's kind of one of the things I liked about your program. All the videos, it's like a textbook, basically. It fills in the foundation, and then the weekly coaching calls and the inner calls and all the other calls, they fill in the gaps and the nuances. In my opinion, you could get probably about 95% of the information through the videos and the online courses and whatnot. And then the coaching, and then the inner circle, and then the office hours, and all the other programs that you have, they fill in the gaps. And so that's one of the great things about your program. And I've been in other programs, I never liked them. They seem cheap because they always resort to what I call forum teaching or forum marketing, where they say, well, we'll give you support. Just log on to this Facebook program or Facebook group and ask questions. It never works. They're never very knowledgeable. I never really knew what was good information, right? Are they steering me down to a path where I'll lose money or get banned from Google or what? Like, is this really good information? I never had that confidence and I hated it. As soon as I investigated a program that says, oh, jump into our Facebook group, nah, that's it. I wanted good information by people who knew what they were talking about and that were good at what they did. That's one of the biggest things I liked about your program, where all of your coaches, they know what they're doing. They run successful businesses. They know how to get things going. And you just don't get that for other coaching programs. You just don't. And that's where it really helped, that confidence.
How would you say we help with either copywriting or data analysis or targeting?
So copywriting is my weak point. I suck. Any landing page that I make if it gets 10% click-through rate, that's a good thing. I suck at it. So I copy everything. I rip everything from everyone. Data analysis is where you guys helped me a lot. So in volume, there's all of these fields that I had no idea what they meant. Not only what they meant, but what the effects were, right? CPA, cost per action, what is that? Why is that important to me, right? Effective cost per click, why do I care about that? I really loved how you broke it down. All of these data, I didn't know what they were, and you guys explained it to me. And so now I was better at just analyzing my data. So that's where it really helped.
How do we help you with AI?
AI-wise, I don't do a whole lot. I'm pretty good at web development. I'm pretty good at writing ads or copying ads at this point. And so AI is there for people who don't have a certain threshold of skills. But once you pass that, you don't really necessarily need AI per se, because you can design something better. But if you're at a certain skill level that's below that threshold, AI can spin up landing pages like no one's business. I mean, I use AI for headline. I use AIs for like maybe image generation where I want to produce a feeling or a type of illustration. But in terms of just using AI to spin up landing pages, not too much. I use AI to generate JavaScript for me. If I want to do certain things on my website, like modals, if I want to do a pop-up, like one of the things I do is exit intent on a mobile device. It's easy to do a pop-up when you move the mouse off the screen. How do you distinguish or determine whether someone's trying to leave a page on a mobile device, right? So ask yourself, you're on a mobile, right? And you're not feeling it, what do? You do a quick scroll up. So if you produce JavaScript that measures how quickly you move up, because you want that menu to pop up, right? So you do a quick up. If you produce JavaScript or write JavaScript that measures that quick flick, then at that point, you get an idea that someone's trying to leave your page. And that's when the exit modal comes up on a mobile device. So I use AI to produce JavaScript there. I used to go to Fiverr. They would charge me $50, $100 to write a piece of JavaScript. Not anymore. I just go to Grok. Yeah.
What attracted you to me and our program?
I don't know. It was so long ago. I mean, it was like years ago. I don't remember how I saw your program or whatnot. I don't remember any of that. But what kept me going was just like I said, you seem genuine and you seem knowledgeable. And then your coaches seem genuine and knowledgeable. The program itself was systematic and so covers everything. So if you're not doing Google, then it covers Facebook. Instagram, all of that. It just covers everything. That's what kept me going here.
What were the first steps you took when you got the program?
Do you remember a long time ago, like there's arcades and then you put in a quarter and then you get 3 lives and you're playing a game, right? And everyone got good at level 1 because you could get there immediately. But in order to get good at level 2, you have to get good at level 1 first, and then you get good at level 2. And then level 3 is even harder because then you got to get good at level 1. Then you have to put enough practice to get good at level 2, and then you get to level 3. Every step is exponentially harder. And so for me, level 1 was just setting up the campaign. Anybody could do it, right? And so you set up a landing page, you go to Google, you set up some ad groups and whatnot, right? Everyone can do it. You could get good at. But in order to get to level 2, which is in my opinion, looking for signs of life, right? Looking to see whether this campaign can actually produce things, right? You have to get good at level 1. Level 2 is, in my opinion, not that bad because level 1, you get instant data. You get click-through rates on ads, click-through rates on landing pages. You know whether someone's doing a begin checkout. You get all that data, right? But then level 2, you have to know what signs to look for, whether the cost benefits are there or not, or whatnot. Level 3 is when you start, I guess, you hit upon a campaign and that shows signs of life, and now you need to start growing it. It gets harder. It gets exponentially harder because now you have to get good at level 1, then you have to get good at level 2, and then now, only then can you get to level 3. And I've blown level 3 like 5 or 6 times. I've started campaigns, there's signs of life, it's showing good signs, good ROI, and all of a sudden I did something to blow it up. And so I had to get to level 3 a few times to get really good at, seeing how to get past level 3. In my opinion, I'm on level 4 right now, which is scaling. Those are kind of the steps I had to go through. Level 5, in my opinion, is maintenance, where you've scaled it enough, or you don't want to work on it anymore, but you want to do it just enough to make sure that it stays relevant, but the money keeps rolling in. And so those are kind of like the steps that I've went through. I think that a lot of people on the coaching calls, they're on level 1 and 2. They have to get to a point where they get past level 1 and 2 and get to level 3.
A lot of people are scared of launching campaigns, in my opinion. Instead of doing something, they do nothing. Yeah. And I always say, well, look, half-baked pasta's better to eat than raw pasta, out of the bag. How has our community helped you?
Community-wise, I like it when on the inner circle call, people ask each other questions. So when Roy says, hey, how did he do this or how did he do that? I think that's where there's a lot of interplay, because I think when people ask questions that other people are too afraid to ask, that's when it helps a lot. The other thing is that when you ask questions, it shows a certain degree of vulnerability because you're saying, I don't know everything. And that gives people confidence saying, he doesn't know anything and he's been here for like 3 months. So maybe it's okay for me not to know everything and start asking questions. I like that interplay of asking questions and showing vulnerability, showing weakness. When people say, they only want to show the successful side, the confident side of themselves, that's great and all. But when you're vulnerable to someone, that's when people get raw. That's when people connect. And when you show weakness and you show vulnerability, that shows a certain degree of intimacy and an ability to bond with each other. And I think that that's where a lot of the community comes in. When people say, I need help me. And someone says, okay, I've got you. If you foster that degree of vulnerability and of helping each other, I think that that's where friendships are made. I think that that's where partnerships are formed. I think that that's where people can relate to each other, and that's where relationships begin.
What stopped you from doing affiliate marketing and learning everything yourself?
For a few years, it didn't work. So I just thought, I need to get something. I'm not doing something right. Something's not working. And so I said, okay, I'll spend the money to get your program. I think that it's a good program and I think that it's going to help me. And so it was just basically a few years of me banging my head and trying to get results and not getting any results and seeing other people getting results and I wasn't there. So part of it was jealousy. Part of it was frustration. And part of it was kind of desperation. Try to do your best. But at a certain point, I was banging my head up against the wall and I didn't know what was keeping me from succeeding.
What surprised you about my video course?
How quickly you could scale. I went from 5,000 in revenue to 20,000 in revenue in a matter of like a month. So that surprised me. It just shocked me how quickly I could scale. And then I started having problems, good problems. I was having cash flow problems. My affiliate network was only paying me once a week. Google was charging me like 2-3 times a week because I was spending so much money. And so now I had to put all that money on a credit card because I did not have enough cash until my affiliate network paid me, that's a good problem to have. And so now I have to go to get an Amex card, just all of these problems. And it's a good problem to have, but it really stressed me out because it's like, how do I put it? It's like riding a bicycle with training wheels versus riding a motorcycle. It's pretty much the same thing, right? But one's going much faster. If you make a mistake, you're just gonna die, right? And so when I'm spending like, $7,500 a week on ad spend, and if I somehow mess it up, man, it's scary. You know what I talked about clenching? I was clenching. I was like, oh, frick. That's one of the things that shocked me, how quickly you could scale. You could scale it up crazy fast. That's the thing that shocked me, how quickly you could scale.
I remember scaling from $25,000 a month to $250,000 a month in 1 month. And still to this day, I think people are surprised and even scared by how fast I scale. I mean, there's just so many people you can access through the internet. Like, oh, if it's printing money, just print more. I have a business partner now, this guy Palsky, and even he's like thrown back by like how much I want to scale. He's like, no, let's only do 10% or 20% a day. I just double the spend. I play blackjack. I love doubling down. It's my favorite. High risk, high. It's my favorite move. And if I've had a drink or two in me, I might, split tens. Just because I'm feeling lucky. If I spend $100 to make $200, I'd spend $200 the next day. And then I make $400, I'd spend $400. I just double. Were there any other courses you consider?
I tried multiple ones. Tried one on Facebook marketing, didn't work. MLM, like I said, didn't work. Tried one on actually starting coaching programs, how to be a coach in different areas. I threw thousands of dollars on different courses. It never worked. I get a feeling though, if I stuck with it, it might have worked eventually. It's just that I didn't see any signs of life. As I'm taking the course, as I'm implementing the steps, I didn't see anything there that said that this was going to produce results. With the SEO flipping program, I started up some sites, never went anywhere, never got any results, no calls, nothing like that. All the other programs with Facebook, whatever, I didn't really know enough about Facebook marketing. They had this own way of marketing on Facebook. I didn't know enough about Facebook, never produced any results, no sales, no affiliate commission, nothing. So I did try other programs. It just didn't work.
I'm going to name out a couple gurus. If you have thoughts on them, let me know. If you don't know who they are, whatever. Tony Robbins?
Yeah, of course.
What are your thoughts on Tony Robbins?
Well, I never took his business course, but I've seen some of his lectures. So I think that in terms of clarifying thoughts, any person that lectures like that, like Jordan Peterson or like that, they're able to voice things that you may not necessarily think about. These are subconscious thoughts that you might have had, but they've put words to the feelings and the emotions that were already there or might have been bubbling underneath the surface. And that's kind of how I see it. Now, I've never experienced his business coaching program, so I can't really say what it's like. But in terms of his lectures, I think that they're good in that they're able to pinpoint areas where you might need growth, but never really thought about. It's like going past your comfort zone. That's when you know you need help because your flaws are coming up. And with Tony Robbins, he starts talking about things and that it might pinpoint something like that early on and it might help you mitigate it. In my opinion, nothing helps you grow as much as hardship and tribulation. So when you're scared, when you're in the deep waters, nothing will help you grow faster than that. But hopefully, if you have enough wisdom, you can learn from others so that when those hard time comes, you will be a little bit more better prepared.
And if someone's on the fence about my program, what would you tell them?
You are going to pay either way. You're going to pay with time and money wasted on advertising that doesn't work, or you're going to pay for a program that might cost you some money, but it's going to help you avoid a lot more future costs and mistakes, even more so with coaching. They've gone ahead of you. They've already made the mistakes that you're going to make. And so the coaches, when they look at your campaign with an experienced eye, and they're going to tell you, no, this is where it's going to go. Calm down. It's not that bad. Ooh, this is a sign that we should be shifting or pivoting. They're going to give you that assurance there. But you're going to pay either way. You're going to pay with your time and your money, or you're going to pay by buying your course. Either way, you're going to pay.
Johnny, thank you so much.
Oh, no problem.
Any final words you'd like to share with people?
Just take action. Just take action. Even if it's baby steps, just take action. Because if you take one step, you'll be farther along your journey than where you were before. Just take one step a day. Even if it's a tiny step, just take any step. Just any step.